The group of mentors, spirit mentors, who help those who go to the other side, especially those who have collective death. They are saying how difficult it has been to help them under desperation. When there are many people who died from any sort of accident, huge accident, they do not accept, they want to go home, they want their physical body, and so forth. And they have to give them a kind of understanding of what's going on. It takes time. And many people don't want to understand that. Desperately, they want to come back home. Home, the physical world, and they cannot come back. What they say is that hundreds of millions of people, from individual to collective, are desperately under suffering after discarnation, after death. And the main cause of that is lack of knowledge and preparation. The incarnation in the physical world means a school, an opportunity to learn. Learn intellectually, developing the memory, intelligence, and so forth, and morally. Get better. Get a better person every day. That's the reason why we all come here. If we don't need that, we don't need to come here. When we get back, we go back to our real world, because we are spirit beings. Human beings only when we have the physical body to communicate in the physical world. Other than that, we are spiritual beings. We have our spiritual body and all the sensations, depending on the evolution we have, and habits, and pride, if we have it, and love, and hate, and everything continues. Now, I want to talk to you about something else that is related to problems after death. What is that? Induction. Induction. Dr. Lacerda, on this book, Spirit and Matter. Dr. Lacerda is the one who started creating in 1965 apometry. And all the laws of apometry and the knowledge of apometry. Dr. Lacerda gave a couple of examples of induction. And he compared that with physics, how it works and everything. But I want to talk to you about spiritual induction. And it has to do with those who go to the other side with zero knowledge of being on the other side, or zero knowledge about the laws of spirituality, the natural laws, spiritual knowledge, and everything. One thing is to live in here and in peace with the great religions and following through, if it is satisfying you, so forth. The other thing is, am I getting prepared to continue on my own? Because that's what will happen. I will go to the other side and continue on my own, and I will be alone. We come alone and we go alone, and we have to get the time we have in here to learn. When you go to school, nobody can learn for you. You have to learn for you. Nobody else can answer the question that you have to answer. And we know that. We all know. Even a child today, they know. It's for me to do, not for you to do. So, are you getting prepared for that? Are you preparing yourself to go back to your home? Because it is necessary. And the mentors are like, please, people, you who have the knowledge, let the others know. because it is great for them. All right, so I'll talk to you today about an example that is on the book of Dr. Lacerda, Spirit and Matter, an example of induction. The example is illustrative case that he calls. Patient, EN, that's all for the name. Female, white, married, 36 years, and she was a nurse. Religion, Protestant. Biotype, ectomesomorphic. But anyway, what was the problem of this lady? After going to doctors about what she was feeling, it was a problem on her skin. And when she came to the spirit group where Dr. Lacerda worked as a spiritist, because he worked as a medical doctor, and in the same hospital there were a part of the hospital for spiritual care. It was the case she had when she went there for help. Strange and persistent allergic syndrome. Let's talk about that. This nurse from a regular hospital, a nice nurse, taking care of others and so forth. And let's talk about the spirit who died and what happened to him. This guy who died, a man, he was a worker. And one day there was a boiler explosion. And he had his body all burned. It was very bad. After being a couple of days or a few days in a hospital, suffering too much, he died. He died with his skin all burned and under pain and everything. Now, on the other side, he was feeling everything, all the pain, sensations, and desperation for the pain and for everything. And he started, after a time on the other side, without understanding anything, and screaming of pain, he started going around trying to get some help. And then you ask me, but God is all love. How come he did not have help? As the spirit mentors advise us that not everyone they can take care of, it goes to the same point. Sometimes the person doesn't accept the death itself, get revolted. If you are revolted, complaining, the good vibration who come to help you, they pass by you. You don't want to. You don't even want to get close to the light they have. You are concerned about coming back to your physical body. You don't accept being there. You want to come back. You want your house. You want your body. And you forget to have the other things. He went to Earth. He wanted to go to a hospital on Earth that he had help, believing he was alive, because he could see his body, he could see the burns, he remembered the accident, but he did not understand that he had died. He understood that there was an accident. So he came right away to Earth, as the spirit mentors who asked us to talk to you about, as they say repeatedly, when those who discarnate and do not accept, don't have the knowledge, are afraid of living on the other side, don't want to adapt, most of them come back to where they are, where they used to be with people they love or people they used to be with, believing that in here they will solve their matters. He went to the hospital. In there, he met many spirits, but he did not understand they were spirit. He did not know the meaning, the difference between being a spirit or being a human. He was totally confused, because there are differences, but As you don't have knowledge, you don't see. Then he saw that nurse, and he got very close to that nurse and was attracted by her aura. He felt great, and she did not drive him away. She did not drive him away because she was a human. She did not see him. And the others saw him because the others were spirits. Okay, so he got close to the nurse, and more, got very attached to her, and she started feeling every single thing that he was feeling, and he was getting released. In other words, as she was feeling what he was feeling, he was accommodated to that. He was okay with that. He was not feeling anything because she was getting from him. Not that he was okay. And he stayed there. It was great for him. He did not understand he was harming her. This allergy, she never had that before. And it was strange, as she said. And crisis always. And the problems, she was almost getting crazy. And when it went to doctors and coming to doctors, and nothing was resolved. Now, she went to Dr. Lacerda. It was himself. When they used the medium to get what she had, to make the connection. And when they found there was this spirit, what did they do? When they found the spirit was attached to her, that's why they use mediums to make that connection. When it comes to spirit, it's not difficult to heal, and you make the spirit understand the reality with love, understanding, and then the spirit gets better and release him from that pain, make him understand everything. When they did that, the spirit was understanding everything and healed from that pain and everything else. He could breathe well. He could be another one. Then they came to the nurse, explained everything to her, and the problem was totally solved. The case was totally solved. As the patient was a sensitive, she received the disharmonic vibration in an easier and more intense manner, the vibration from him. But it also can be the reason why she was always open to help. Many nurses work with love. It's a pleasure for them to help. And that is a kind of, I can help anyone. Now, spiritual induction caused by vibratory resonance. She was in resonance with the guy. All right? This is one case of induction from the book Spirit and Matter. What I'm going to talk to you now is about a case that came to me, and came to me through this program. And what happened? I'll tell you what happened. This lady had a great friend, and she will explain that also. Great friend. They love each other as friends. Young guy, 23 years old, I believe. And he had a car accident. He died right away. She did whatever she had to do. But it was not the end of the problem. She started feeling something different, and it was on and getting worse and worse and worse. She did not understand. It affected her, especially on the emotion. The problem was that the guy who died had the same problem, did not accept the fact that he had died. He could see that his body was broken. But he wanted his physical body. He wanted to come back, and he went to whom? Close to her, because before that happened. He liked to be with her as friends. But what happened is that she started feeling little by little what he was feeling.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm here to tell you about what happened. A close friend of mine, Brian, passed away unexpectedly, and he died immediately when he got hit by a car. I grieved for a long time, and I tried everything that I could to find him and communicate with him. I went through and looked up everything about spirituality, psychic mediums, and just anything that could help me get through the day. I couldn't function, and I lost 2 of my businesses. I wasn't making any money because I was unable to continue working. I was just grieving every day, and depression set in for me. I came across, when I was looking on YouTube, Elvina, as she was being interviewed on a YouTube video clip. I saw that there was an email that I could try to reach out to, and I thought that it wouldn't hurt for me to. And I saw how much she talked about spirit and spirituality. I saw that she was very knowledgeable, and I saw that it couldn't hurt that if I could try to email her and see if I could reach out to her. Unexpectedly, about less than a few weeks, Elvina reached out to me and agreed to Skype with me because she felt like she could help me get past this. I was very hesitant. I was very scared, but at the same time, I feel like nothing could hurt or put me in more pain that I was already in. I couldn't work or function or anything. So we set a time to Skype and to start the process and to begin working together. I was very surprised and amazed at the same time that someone like her would be able to put time aside to help me and not even charge me a penny for that. So then I decided to give it a try.
When you are afraid of being on the other side and desperate because you want to come back, you go to where your heart is. And his heart was with her for the friendship, loving friendship. And this lady was getting worse and worse and worse. And she started going to some places where she could receive help. But it was not easy. That was almost 6 months, I believe. And she communicated with me, and I called her. When I called her, she started crying. And she said that she could not function. She was down, completely down, could not function. She was exactly acting like him. He was, when she called, when I was speaking to her, I did not sense, because it was by phone, I did not sense on another state, I did not sense he was there. But she was speaking about the case, and I was clear to me that it could be done easily. I did not know how at that point because I did not really know he was right there with her. But I knew it could be done, and it was an emergency for him and for her. And I knew it could be done to help somebody who was desperately willing to have his physical body back. That I knew. But I did not tell her, not to bring more problems to her. So I invited her to go to Skype and we could do something. I was clear to her, I don't know if I'm going to help you, but I'll try. Let's try. If you want to, we can try. It is an emergency, and I believe it will help, but it's up to you. And she said, I want. And it was fast, because he was there. And he did not want to, his body was healed and he liked that. He liked everything, but he did not want to go. He did not want to be released from her. And when I explained to him about the vital energy, by being with her, you are having her energy. She is sharing her energy with you. And why do we need vital energy? To keep our life on, to keep your heart, to keep your organs, to keep you alive, to keep you with energy to resolve all the things you need to resolve during the day, during the week, your family's matter, everything you need your vital energy, otherwise you don't do anything. And you are taken from her, and you are taking her peace because she is feeling what you feel. And he started understanding, but did not want to get released. He was afraid. Still, by seeing that his body was okay, and he understood everything, I made the connection to herself, and she could see the image. Because the connection was perfect, she could get all the connections consciously. And she says, it was a magic. No, there is no magic. There is a connection that we call psychic capture. Godinho explained that very well. And on my videos, you can see Godinho explaining that under the name psychic capture. There is psychic capture 1, psychic capture 2. So, and she understood, and she could get from him. And then he said, I don't want to go. And what do we do in that case? We are dealing with somebody desperate for coming back, but cannot. You need to do something to bring him to a spiritual institution, astral institution, where he can get better and help and adjust and be functional in the spiritual world. He was not a bad one. He was a great guy. Otherwise, he would not even have received all what he received. Now, but he did not want to go. He was still resentful to go, afraid of what would happen to him. Then in that case, we all do that. What did I do? I brought another lifetime from him. I regressed him to another lifetime. And I wanted him to see what he had done in another lifetime, in a past lifetime, to deserve such a death he had, to deserve that kind of situation, that suffering situation. Because nothing in life, in the first place, happens for no reason. Nobody is victim of any kind. We all go through problems because we have done things to make us weak in that or that sense. You did something before and time came for you to erase that. And sometimes you have to go through problems for you to erase what you've done to others. Otherwise, where is the justice? You did something, you need to finish that business, forgiving the person, doing something great to others in order to erase your own wrongdoings. But something has to be done, right? So I brought him to a lifetime where he did a very ugly thing. And he understood, he saw the images like a monitor in front of him. Sometimes they don't want to see, but he saw everything. He remembered what he had done. And the reason why things happened to him, it was to have it was a chance he had to, not to erase that memory, but erase that bad past, and with forgiveness, bring the person he hurt and help also through forgiveness. Once things are forgiven, they will be forgotten. They will be resolved. And then he was still resentful to go to the other side, even though he understood why he had been through. I asked her not to be connected to him, otherwise she could bring him closer. Because if somebody goes to the other side and those people, those loved ones, start thinking about the person day and night and be willing to have the person back and crying because the person has gone, you attract the person to be close, that spirit to be close to you. You don't let them go. So the let go should be done on the part of those who are suffering, those who stayed and are suffering, and on the part of those who went. You have to do this let go. She was already released from that bad matter, that bad emotion, and at the same time she was concerned about what would happen. Then I brought another incarnation. I asked the mentors, her mentors, to bring another incarnation where she had been very, very happy in order to make a kind of a bridge. We will, for a moment, we will raise this memory on you and replace that memory with some great memory that you had in the past, in your past. And while you have that great memory from your past and having the present memory erased for momentarily, so you will not be in connection with him and will let him go. And she agreed. And then she saw the images of a lifetime where she had been very, very, very happy, very nice life. And she was great when she saw that life where she was happy.
During the session, she walked me through step by step. She did a prayer with me so that way I could feel protected. It was a very weird experience, but I will admit whatever she did worked, because as of today, I am back on my feet. I went from crying maybe 5 to 10 times a day to maybe crying once a week, if that. Sometimes I do hit my hard moments and maybe I might cry out of a month like 3 times in one day. But that is a big change from how it was before. During the session, I did feel a sense of peace. Like I was in the hand of someone I believe that was there to really help me and help me heal. From what I could remember, it was a very weird experience because she would have me close my eyes, and amazingly I could hear things, or I could see visions in my head, visions I could never imagine. Like I felt like I was there. She also told me that she needed my help because he was holding on to me so tight that I was sensing the depression from him as well. That's why I was feeling depressed all the time. She helped guide me. I got visions of my past life with him, and she helped me look at it in a positive way and what to think of whenever things were hard for me again. She put these beautiful images in my head and reminded me to always think about those things when times get hard for me again, and they have worked wonders. She explained to me that it was hard for him to let go as well, and that she needed my help to get him to let go. It wasn't an easy process for me, for I felt like I wasn't ready for him to let go, but I know what he needed to do. She spent about 3 hours with me, and we did all these prayers, and she got me to see all these images. And I will remember one of the last images I saw was him being pulled away as he was refusing to be pulled away by his guardian angel and spirit guides. It was a hard thing to see, but I will never forget that as soon as all that happened, I smiled and I laughed for the first time again, and I felt like a big load was lifted off my chest. I was spending about a few thousand every month just calling these psychics or calling people who would just tell me that they sense him and everything would be okay. But I never felt fulfilled with that. It wasn't until she did what she did that took a big load off my chest. And as of today, I feel like I don't need any of that anymore, and I'm able to conduct my business and actually seal deals like before. But I feel at ease with myself, like he's watching over me and he's doing what he has to do. As of now, I'm able to function better. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my chest, and I'm able to go on with life.
I have everything to believe that they, the two of them, had many other lifetimes. But it would have to be something else, some other time, not exactly that time there was an emergency. There are many cases of induction, as well as many other cases, because each case is a different case. But there are, each day, every day, many, many cases, I would say, under the same matter. Lack of knowledge and preparation.
Therefore, I just want to say I never thought I would feel something like that. And thank you, Elvina, because if it weren't for you today, I don't know what would happen, but I'm able to continue on with business. I'm actually smiling every day. And it is very few and far in between before I would shed another tear. I believe that he is in a better place and that we will meet again one day. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because I never thought I could get over that depression, the hardest time in my life. I felt like I hit rock bottom, but I don't know what you did with your magic. And today, I just know that once we meet again, it's going to be beautiful, and he's doing what he has to do, and I have to finish what I have to do here on earth. Thank you again for everything that you do, Elvina. Thank you.
This book is from Victor Ronaldo Costa, also a medical doctor. He belonged to the group of Dr. Lacerda. When they started, all the work they did for more than 25 years to bring all the knowledge for us. He belonged to the same, he was a medical doctor also, and went to the worked in the hospital where Dr. Lacerda was, and did the same, and wrote other books too. Now, I want to talk to you about a case of induction he mentioned here. There are other cases of induction, but this one is, it happened to his father when he was 40 years old, his father. He said that his father was a military. And one day he had a little problem on, that seemed to be on his liver, regular problem, and then he went to a hospital. And the problem, instead of getting better, it got worse. It was getting bad, worse and worse and worse, and getting prepared for the surgery on the other week. And then one of his friends, the friend of his father, came to him and said, why don't we go to see a medium before you go to go for the surgery? A friend of him who worked with him and advised him. And he said, no, they will say things that I don't want. They will create things. That's okay, I'm going to do the surgery. And his friend made him think otherwise. And they went to a medium. It was not really a spirit center. It was only a medium. And when they got in there, they spoke to the medium about the case. She connected with the spirit who was attached to Dr. Victor's father, the spirit who was sick. She attracted the spirit from the patient to herself. And they start speaking to the spirit. Who was the spirit? The spirit went to the military hospital because he was under a military training, and had a problem, an accident, it was an accident, and he died. It was a problem on the area of his liver, but it was a kind of shot, not exact, kind of explosion on the training, and he was affected and died. But same thing, was not prepared to face the world, the spiritual world, had no knowledge at all about that, was full of pain, screaming of pain, did not want to be in there, want to come back to his work, want to come back to his family, want to come back to everything and get better, but was full of pain, and went to the military hospital where he used to go when he was with his physical body. But he did not understand, he did not have his physical body anymore. He understood he was alive. He was not conscious about that. When you are conscious and you have the knowledge, you can see the difference right away. So he went to the hospital. The day he went to the hospital, hoping to have a doctor to help him, believing he was alive, he met Dr. Victor's father, who was there to be helped. And he got close to him, and he felt great by being close to him. He liked his energy. And he felt that by being close and close to him and more, he was getting released from the pain he had. So he stayed in there and got even closer and attached to him. From that time on, his father started having and feeling the problems that the spirit was feeling. That's why instead of leaving the hospital a little better, he was coming through a surgery because he was feeling bad and bad and bad. And the medium said everything to him. And what happened is that the mentor of the medium healed the spirit. Once the spirit was conscious and totally healed of the problem and understanding that he was not anymore in the physical world, then a couple of days later, the guy was totally out of problem. The first thing he did was to cancel the surgery because he could feel that he had no problem at all. He went to the hospital with a simple matter that was resolved in action. It is a fact, and with diagnosis and everything for this matter. And this matter is related to lack of knowledge and preparation for death. What we need to know is that we must know about the immortality of the soul. We must learn about that. Because our physical body are mortal. Our souls are immortal. Immortality of souls is the real issue in this story today. There is no special thing. You get too involved with delusion while you are in the physical world, with what you show, the way you show, how important you got, how better you are than the others, and you forget the meaning of life. Because meaning of life is to have peace in your spirit, the brightness that comes from you, consciousness, when you are able to put you a little bit apart and use all you have to help those who really need you, at least once in a while. That's special people. But selfishness is not being special. It's a special delusion. And when your time comes, because your time will come sooner or later, and you go to the other side, then the same problem will come to you. And there is something you need to know. The more selfish you are, and you believe only on what you do, only on how important you are, and you care less about others, the more alone you will be on the other side, because nobody will care about you. They ignore you as you ignore the others, because this is the law of action and reaction. So this is preparation. And we don't get prepared overnight. Preparation comes with time and actions. Today I do a little, tomorrow I do a little bit more. There are many young people who are overcome barriers and breaching the barriers of delusion in order to show they care for others. And they are strong, and they are young. And they care less about many things that means nothing. There are many young people on that. And it is a way we have to learn with them. Because mistakes we all do. Once you are in the physical world, we do mistakes. We do one here, another here, but it doesn't mean you cannot come back and erase them while you are on the road with those you did something. So if you have a chance, try to do something great to erase what you have done, to avoid guilt complex. Because when you have guilty complex, you are the villain of yourself. You don't let go yourself. You want to punish yourself. You believe you need to be punished. It is guilt complex, that's all. Let go and believe that you deserve. I have been talking to you about a lot of things related to this. But many people don't want to hear that. It is only a question of getting prepared. How do I get prepared? By doing good actions to others, by keeping you in your prayers, or a kind of conversation you have with your mentors, with God, with Cosmos, with those you love, Krishna. It doesn't matter who they are, but you have a great moment with them. You do great things for others. You have your conscience certain that you have done something great for others. And this kind of things prepare you for. It is a kind of preparation. And it is not everything that you do from today to another day and you say, okay, from now on I want to get prepared for. And that's it. That's I want, okay, all right. It doesn't go that way. It goes that way with actions, great actions and conscience. Forgive a little bit more the others. Sometimes people are too strong on pointing their finger to others and forget that they are humans. Forget that they can do mistakes. But those who point their finger so fast, they don't believe they can ever do some mistake, but they can. We are able to do anything. Be a little bit more concerned about the others and a little bit more with heart to help others. A little bit more compassionate for others. It is a preparation. Consciously, you become, because you want, you become, I want to be better. I want to do better things and pay attention to what you do. And every time you do something that it's not as you would like to, right away do something to erase that, if there is a chance. And so forth, because we are humans. And humans do ugly things. But let's try to do less ugly things and more great things. Because right now, on this transition, many people are getting their DNA changed. And it is in there. It is nothing that depends on your will, on our will. It is happening to everyone. Everyone is being touched, but not everyone is able to see or to accept. The light comes to everyone, but many are blind enough not to accept or to resist to that and continue doing what they want to do. Many of those people who are doing evil to others and they don't care about what they are doing. And they continue doing evil because they want to be powerful, because they want to show that they are better, because they want to control, or so and so forth. Now let's talk about the groups, those special groups that are there to help us. And there are many, but people dying, especially when it is collective death. Death from any kind of huge deaths, like fire or something. Those groups of great spirits, they are there to help us. They are in the boundaries between Earth and the astral world. Many call that outposts. For example, regularly above hospitals there are outposts, so that people around who die around individually on very fast death like accident, or collectively. So they go to those places to have help. What else? Churches, spirit centers, place of hospitals in general. The hospital, physical hospital is in here, and above that there are a hospital to help those around and those who die in that hospital. So they are there. Or sometimes they make an outpost to help in a place that there is no hospital or a spiritual center or anything around. So there will be a huge accident, fire or something, they already know. So they go there and they mount an outpost in order to help those who go from this. They use the ectoplasm or vital energy. Ectoplasm is a substance in our cells that help, that mediums all have to help the spirits when they are desperate, to calm them down or to make them understand. But other people, everybody has also. But not everyone is able to donate the ectoplasm. They take from religious people, religious of any kind. They take from them. They take from esoteric groups. They take from those people who are together or who form group like social workers, religious congregation, and they are willing to help others. Those people are prepared for that. So they have their energy, and they say, and they are conscious, they want to help. So those spirit mentors who are there to help, they take the energy, the ectoplasm energy from those people who can donate, who are able to donate. Now, we have a perfect example from the book Our Home. It was a Chico Xavier book under the name of Nosso Lar. And it was psychographics of André Luiz. And everybody already know there is a movie about that, Our Home. And what happened to André Luiz? André Luiz was a medical doctor when he was in the physical world, in that incarnation, and it was in Brazil. He was not bad. He never killed anyone. He never did any evil to anyone, but did not help. He was an excellent professional, and he made use of that to help himself, his family, had a great life, and regular things that everybody does. But he did not like to help, especially those who came to him and came to him for help, but could not afford medical treatment. But the time for him came, and he died. He went to the other side. And what does he say? He says, dying is as simple as changing clothes. However, changing clothes doesn't solve all the matters we have. And he has that experience. He went through. Changing clothes doesn't help one to resolve traumas, bad habits, missing somebody. It will not help. Just for being on the other side, just for dying, it will not help, because you have your life. You have your things. You may have sensation. That was the case of André Luiz. Now let's see what they say. He says, even with no notion of time and space, and completely aware that I did not belong to the physical world anymore, I couldn't understand why I was still breathing normally, why my physiological needs were functioning normally. I could not understand why I was terribly hungry and thirsty as he was. I could not understand why my beard and nails were growing. And I was tired. I had all the sensations. I had pain. I was walking from one side to the other. He was not bad. He was a medical doctor. He was not like, he did not do evil to anyone, but he was supposed to do good, to help many who could not afford. And he did not do. He signed a contract because he wanted to help. Not exactly helping others, because in fact, when you help someone, you are helping yourself. And exactly the same of being a medium. Being a medium, it doesn't mean you are great or wiser than the others, or you are in a better position. It's the contrary. When you are a medium, especially if you are well developed on your mediumship, it means you are exchanging a huge problem you have to erase or to resolve, and exchange that for the work of mediumship, which means helping others with your heart, with your care. That's the work of mediumship. He had commitment to help others as a medical doctor, and he refused to do. When the spirit mentors say, when you go to the other side, we are there to help you, but not everyone can be helped depending on what you did with your own life, depending on where you brought your vibration, depending on those you went out with always in your life. The filter will tell you what will happen to you, because whatever you do, depending on what you do or the things you do, you will have your vibration. If you do evil things, your vibration will be according to the vibration of those on the other side who help you to do evil things. If you do great things, your vibration will get greater and on the same level of those greater ones on the other side. Nothing is different in here or in there. When they go to the other side, it is the same. They are on the hands of those they lived with in here. It depends on what you do, you have companions. If you do great things, you have great companions from the other side. If you have bad things, you have bad companions from the other side. So he calls the attention for that. And he says that they said that That is another way to get prepared for. Be careful with your life, with the energy you have around you. Because the other world is not a game. The other world is your real home. And you do not cheat on anyone. You may cheat on you when you are in here. Cheat on others who cannot see what you do, but you don't cheat on the mentors, on your own spirit, because everything is in there. So, they called the attention for that. But missing is a huge problem, because your heart is, you are where your heart is. If you are too attached to your work, to the things you do, once on the other side, you have a tendency to come to where you used to go every day. And if there is nothing, if there is nobody to help you, you will keep doing your work on your mind. You keep going to your work every day, you keep working on what you used to, but all in your mind. And you are losing time and losing everything and taking risks. Other thing that André Luiz mentioned, he was called, when he was in there, he was called, he said, by half humans and half monsters. Those monsters he found on the other side, who were humans, deformed humans. They were calling him suicidal. You commit suicide, you did suicide, you did suicide, like repeating that on him, he couldn't even sleep. And he said, I did not commit suicide. Why they are calling me that if I did not commit suicide? He did not commit suicide by killing himself with something, with a gunshot or something, or hang himself. But he had other habits to harm his physical body. And as a consequence, his astral body. Such as, for example, if you smoke and you cannot stop, and you smoke too much, and your doctor says, show you the exams and everything, and says you cannot smoke anymore. Your breathing is not working properly. Your lungs are too dark. You need to stop, and you don't stop. What is that? You are harming yourself. You are harming your lungs. You are doing evil to yourself. It means you are killing yourself little by little. So it is suicide. On the second place, on second hand, suicide. But it is suicide. Or if you eat, you like to eat and you eat too much. You don't have good habits for eating. You eat anytime, and you go to sleep full of food, heavy food, and drink, and you drink a lot, you eat a lot, and you go to sleep, and you have problems with your intestines, your stomach, but you don't care, you continue doing the same thing. That means you are harming yourself. You did not commit suicide, but you did, little by little. That's also what happened to him. And that's his example.